Okay, this video is a book review of Macbeth by Shakespeare. It's a good play. A couple things about it. I'll real quick go through some pictures and I'll explain some of the best lines in the movie. First, you start out, it's all in Scotland. It's even called the Scottish play. Shakespeare liked to call it the Scottish play to make it clear he wasn't talking about the King of England. The King of England was King James, and King James was also from Scotland, but, and even related to one of the characters, kind of, Banquo. But this is King Duncan, and he was a good king in Scotland. Okay, then there was a major battle where some enemies of Scotland were fought, and Macbeth was the great hero of the battle. Okay, so now he was returning to Scotland, and he was going to be seen by the king, and he's the big hero of Scotland. And he's with his friend Banquo, and Banquo was a very noble, good man, and a nobleman. Okay, and they meet three witches who give him a prophecy, and the prophecy of the witches is that someday Macbeth will be king. Banquo will not be king, but they say Banquo's son will be king. Okay, and the witches have some of the best lines in the movie. Fair is foul, and foul is fair. I'll get to that in a moment, though. So Macbeth meets with King Duncan, and he is rewarded. He's made the Thane of Cawdor, and other honors are shed upon him, and the king is very happy with Macbeth. Macbeth is basically set for life in Scotland. He is a national hero, a favorite of the king, so the guy has it made. He's really got nothing to complain about. The King Duncan goes to visit the home of Macbeth, and Macbeth and his wife set up a plot. Macbeth got this idea into his mind based on the prophecy of the witches that he was going to be the king. And he tells his wife, and she says, "Oh yes, you must bump off Duncan." And so Duncan has guards, and they get the guards drunk. They take the daggers of the guards, and I'll show you what happens next. Macbeth slays the good King Duncan while he's sleeping. A very evil, treacherous betrayal, and a terrible thing to do. So Macbeth is not a good guy. He's a bad man, and his wife is bad too. Macbeth then starts doing other evil things, hiring people to go after other potential persons who could take the throne, including Banquo. He has Banquo bumped off, his friend. All right, then the ghost of Banquo comes back to haunt the castle of Macbeth. So here is Macbeth and Lady Macbeth frightened by the visit of the ghost of Banquo, who they can see but the others can't see. And then Lady Macbeth starts having a difficult time handling the guilt for all the evil deeds of her husband and her, and slaying of King Duncan and others. Macbeth is also having a hard time with the guilt, and then they start to come from him. There's another prophecy from the witches. The prophecy is that no man born of woman could ever slay Macbeth. And they also tell him, you need not fear anything until Birnam Woods begins to move. That's the name of the forest near Macbeth. So Macbeth says, the forest can't move, I'm not worried. And only a man born of woman could slay me, and all men are born of women, so no one can slay me. But it turns out that Macduff, an angry Scottishman who was also wronged by Macbeth, is coming for him. And he tells his men to cut off branches of Birnam Wood, and they walk towards with that as camouflage to hide their numbers. So Birnam Wood is moving. In addition, it turns out Macduff was born by a cesarean section, so he's not born in a normal way of woman, and he thus is able to slay Macbeth, which he does. And Macbeth deserved it, okay? So what are some things about it? Let's see. There's a couple good lines by the witches. Where shall we three meet again in thunder, lightning, or in rain? When the hurly-burly's done, when the battle's lost and won. Later on, fair is foul and foul is fair. Hover through the fog and filthy air. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Then there's other lines that, you hear all the time in modern language usage, but you don't know where they came from. The milk of human kindness. This is a sorry sight in one fell swoop. Okay. And then after Lady Macbeth dies, she kind of goes crazy and commits suicide. Macbeth says, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life is but a walking shadow, a poor player, that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury and signifying nothing. Okay, so basically Macbeth was a total jerk. He had a great life, and out of evil ambition, he bumped off Duncan and did a whole bunch of other bad things, and in the end, he gets his comeuppance. And so, what do I get out of it? You know, I like these in plain English Shakespeare plays, so you can read the easy English right next to it and then just read the good lines in Shakespeare's English. There's not a lot of intellectual character development. I mean, it's nothing like reading Dostoevsky, Charles Dickens, or Victor Hugo. Okay, the characters are not that developed. Macbeth simply wants power, and to get it, he has to get rid of Duncan. Okay, so they're kind of simple-minded plots. The most intellectually developed Shakespeare play, of course, is Hamlet. Okay, I love Hamlet. That's his best play ever by far. So if you want to go with Macbeth, go ahead. Use these. I like them side by side because they got the plain English right here and they got the Shakespeare English right here. So I pretty much mostly read this and then I check this for little parts that I think are interesting. But it's real short play. You can blow through it pretty fast. Anyways, there it is. That's Macbeth.